Okay, so this video, I'm not doing this. Let's just start out by saying I'm not making this video for clout. I'm not making this video to piss anybody off. I'm not making this video to get for entertainment. I'm not making it, just for spite, for any kind of anger or hatred whatsoever. I'm making this video to educate, okay? Not only to educate the person that the video is going to be about, but to educate anyone else who feels the need to actually listen to what I'm saying and try to understand it, try to see this perspective and see the bigger picture and learn just a valuable life lesson, because this is something a lot of people don't grasp and don't understand, and of not being educated and not understanding this concept is never good. It's never good. It's always bad. It's always negative energy, anger, hatred. Bad things happen because of those things. And then you have division. You have division. People who, instead of working together to solve a problem, get further apart and further divided. And then that just creates more problems because you have people on two totally opposite ends of spectrum. When the reality is, everybody is more similar than they realize. Everybody has more in common than you can even imagine if you just take the time to get over your ego and actually listen and see things from another person's perspective. Okay, that's all. Now that being said, this might anger somebody. That I can't help that, and that's okay if it angers people or somebody in particular. I think most people probably find it entertaining and find it informative, insightful. But there is somebody who's probably not going to like it. And what I have to say to that is, the truth hurts sometimes, but sometimes people need to hear the truth. Okay. So I did a previous video and I said, gang stalkers never answer the right question. Oski here. And, I didn't conversate with him on Messenger here in order to piss him off. I'm just giving him back the energy he decided to contribute to my channel in the comment section, because he had an intent when he did that. Now I'm not in his head. I don't know, but I can assume, and I can look at it and just assume that his intent was to try to paint me in a certain narrative, paint me in a certain light for other people, for his own entertainment, for his own sick games, for whatever. Not for any good reason. And maybe just to discredit me, maybe. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I have a hard time putting myself in this perspective because it's not the kind of person I am. I can't think like these sick fucking people think. Like how they can do these things and not fucking care about how they affect other people, and if it affects somebody in a negative way, it depends on your intent. Now, if you have good intentions, then there is collateral damage sometimes. People need to understand that, okay? You have to see the big picture. But when you're going out of your way to cause damage to somebody, and that is your intent, that's just fucking sick and evil. And that's why I'm making this video, to inform the public, first of all, that this is somebody's true colors. If you don't really know the person, I'm not trying to take anything out of context and make him look bad. He does that very, very well himself. He doesn't need any help making himself look like a fucking piece of shit here. All right, that's my opinion of him. Now, I'm not critiquing his lifestyle, his job, how much money he has, or where he lives, or anything like that. Just his fucking words, you know. in what he says and his intent, how I take his intent towards me. This all started because Mr. Jimmy Grabowski decided to grace his presence in the comment section on my videos and say, "Hey kids, don't do drugs or you'll think everyone is following you." Okay? And it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure out that his intent there was to paint me as some kind of drug addict and that I'm crazy or something, right? Because of the exposure that I'm putting out there. I'm exposing these piece of shit gang stalkers in Patton, Pennsylvania. They don't like it. And sorry, you should have thought about that before you started being a fucking dirtbag. So here we go. Now, the first video, I highlighted this conversation because this is how he really talks to me, in this conversation here, online, Timmy Toughnuts online here. But, and on Facebook, but, in the comments section, he's just going to say stupid shit. He's not even very creative, and he doesn't even think before he puts the stuff out there because he doesn't, obviously, because any rational person is going to think, well, if I say this, what's he going to say? What's his like I'm not going to fucking react. I mean, come on. Most people would react. I'm not reacting. I'm responding. Put it that way. I have to rephrase that. I'm not reacting to Jimmy Grabowski's choice of words. I'm responding. And I'm not responding to Jimmy Grabowski directly. I'm responding to everybody. I'm being completely transparent, putting everything out there so that people can stop making up lies about me, because that seems to be what happens. As much as I don't want my personal business out there that much, I'm forced to put my personal business out there because if people don't know the truth, they make it up. if they don't know what's going on in my life, they make it up, and it's never good. Never, ever good. I hear some fucking crazy shit about myself. Just one, for example, real quick. There's a woman downtown who, when I see her face to face, we're on good terms. She doesn't say anything mean to me. I don't say anything mean to her. We had our very first interaction ever, almost ended in a fist fight, Miss Wanda. And we got over that, and I thought we had a mutual respect between the two of us. I certainly respected her because she has that attitude, that don't give a shit attitude, will tell you how it is. And I love that about a person. More people need to be like that. But I didn't think she had that side to her where she says, shit behind someone's back and then wants to act totally different to their face. So Wanda, I don't know what your deal is. If I don't know what I did to you. I actually had your back whenever Fred fucking came in the Legion and grabbed you and fucking, basically fucking abused you, like domestic violence type shit, and humiliated you in the Legion in front of people, and that was fucked up. And I had your back then, and I would still have your back. And other than what I've heard, I still consider you a friend and would have your back, and I respect you as a person. Now, I'm going to say what I've heard, so please feel free to correct me in the future if this is not true. But I hear a lot, and I don't say what I hear because it doesn't do any good. It just blows my mind sometimes, the things that I hear. Anyway, Miss Wanda, about a year ago, I guess, something like that, tried to claim. Now, this is according to, it's hearsay, so I've heard this, from somebody else who said that Wanda said this to them. Wanda said to this person that she saw me selling my son's food stamps in the dollar store parking lot. Selling my son's PEBT, his pandemic EBT SNAP benefits, his food stamps, his card, to somebody in the dollar store parking lot. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. I have never sold my food stamps. I do not sell my food stamps. I would never sell my food stamps because they're for food, for my kids. I use them for food. There are a lot of people who sell their food stamps for drugs and shit like that. And I've had lots of people who came up who have confronted me and tried to get me to sell them my food stamps. And I have never, and I repeat, I never sold my food stamps to anyone. I have shared my food stamps with people for nothing in return, just to simply share my benefits with people who I feel, could use them. And when they say thank you, I say thank Uncle Sam, because it's government assistance. You know, I use the assistance because it's there. That's what it's there for. I don't milk and bleed the system. I'm conservative, highly conservative. I think they need to do away with a lot of the welfare programs. Period. Plain and simple. Because that's the only way people are gonna fucking get their head out of their ass and take accountability and do things for themselves rather than blame their problems on everybody else. That's a major problem that we have in our culture and our society today. And I am an advocate for solutions to problems. Because if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the fucking problem. So here we go. Part of this problem, and this is the first time I've ever addressed this, is when I hear Wanda tried to paint a narrative to tell people that I'm selling my son's food stamps to people in the dollar store parking lot. Now, it's so far from the truth that I can't understand why she would do that, because it's not like there was even a situation where she could be mistaken. There wasn't even a situation I can think of where somebody could look at it and think that I was selling my food stamps to somebody. So I really have no idea. I don't understand that one. The only thing that I can assume is that Wanda is part of the big conspiracy of people that are trying to smear my name, destroy my reputation, discredit me, and everything else. Because there's a lot more fucking whoppers where that came from, of shit that people have said about me that is absolutely asinine, and there's not an ounce of truth to it. So anyway, I what's the word I'm looking for here? Yeah, I digress. Yeah, I need to get back to the points. Anyway, Jimmy Grabowski. So Jimmy Grabowski, we left off here, and at a point where I just asked a simple question, and I predicted that you wouldn't answer the question. It was, how did you stumble across my channel to begin with? Just a simple question, but let's see if you'll answer it or try to deflect, because I'm betting the answer either makes you or someone in the apartments look bad, exposes you as a gang stalker, and it helps contribute to the claims that I've made about the people that, living there. And like I said, I'm assuming that you didn't just stumble across it in your suggested feed on Facebook or YouTube randomly. So he responded with laugh my ass off at you. The people that you actually think are your friends, laugh my fucking ass off. Keep thinking that. So his answer is he heard it from the people that I actually think are my friends. That's his answer. That's not an answer, Jimmy. You understand why I'm asking the question, okay? Because I can deduce quite a bit from the answer, okay? And I can show people your true colors and really get to the bottom, really grind in here and get to the bottom of where this is all coming from to begin with, But I can't do that when you just do what I predicted you would do and beat around the bush, jump around the question, and not answer it. So I said, what are you talking about? Who do you think are my friends? Who do I think are my friends? And he says, laugh my fucking ass off, shut the fuck up, Riri, go smoke some more meth, and think the fucking FBI had your fucking phone tapped. Laugh my fucking ass off. Good fucking Lord. Okay, so this is where we left off. And I have more questions too. I got to ask. What makes you think that I think the FBI has my fucking phone tapped there, buddy? I never said the FBI has my phone tapped. I said somebody has my phone hacked, and that's a fucking fact. Whenever my phone somehow is on a mobile device management plan. I own the phone. I own my phone, and I do not have my phone on a mobile device management plan. Yet, for some reason, my device shows up that it is registered under somebody's mobile device management plan. But that's as far as I can get because it's under their plan. They control the fucking phone. They can control every little detail, and they can they can customize it so that this setting shows up but this one doesn't, and it's not just like one profile, and they can literally create a workflow and customize this mobile device management plan so that my phone looks completely normal except for maybe just this thing or that thing, and they can completely control your phone. That's like if you have a company phone and the business wants to give you that phone, but they want to make sure you can't, look at porn, or they want to make sure that you can't use a certain app or something like that, that they can do that. And they can make it so that you can't delete your phone. They can make it, what I mean? There's different reasons that they can do different things with your phone. That's what a mobile device management plan is for. And my phone is on one somehow. Somehow. So call it what you want, hacked or cloned or fucking whatever. That's just one of the ways that they control my devices. Okay, and I've looked into that and I've confirmed that. So, anyway, it's not the FBI. The FBI has to be transparent. There's rules and policies they have to follow to do certain things. Okay, it might be people that work for the FBI, but it's not the FBI hacking my phone. It's pieces of shit, okay, that are just criminals, corrupt criminal pieces of shit, okay, that are doing it for whatever reason, and they think it's funny, I guess. I mean, the fact that you're laughing about it, Jimmy Grabowski, it kind of hints that you know something I don't know. I mean, were you the one that is behind the device hacking, or is it somebody else? Because when I lived at the apartments, Jimmy, it's strange how my own network, my own router, okay, had a weaker signal, a Wi-Fi signal in my apartment than your network, than your Wi-Fi network that said Jimmy Grabowski. Isn't that funny? Isn't that strange? That's just something. I never mentioned that, but I could go on all day about the stupid fucking, device manipulation, hacking, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it is. It's true. It happened. I could show anybody who cares to look at it. Come see me. I'll show you. I'll blow your fucking mind with all the shit that I have accumulated and documented over the last 3 years. Oh, let's get back to Sideways. There we go. I'm doing this Sideways video for Nerve Gorilla. I thought of you, Nerve Gorilla, and I thought I better make a real video sideways instead of up and down. So anyway, Jimmy Grabowski feels the need to talk about meth for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe Jimmy Grabowski has a meth problem or something. I don't know. But he says go smoke some more meth. What does meth have anything to do with me or what I'm talking about here? That's another question I have. And let's hear a rational answer. But I probably won't get any answers to any of these questions because they say all this fucked up shit and then they say, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm done with this thread. I'm done with you. Okay. You mean I start making sense and you gotta fucking run and tuck your tail between your legs and run like a little bitch because you're afraid of a simple fucking question? Or you're afraid of what the question might tell people? The question might expose who you really are and what you really do. And if you care what people think and you care about the public opinion and your personal reputation, I guess I'd be a little hesitant to answer these very simple questions as well. But see, I don't have to worry about that because I'm not a piece of shit and I don't do this fucked up shit to people. I just speak the truth and ask the right questions. So, I said to him, so you're not going to answer the question? And this is just last night. And he replies with, You fucking Riri, fuck, are you fucking stupid and burnt the fuck out. I already did, as I said. Go smoke some more fucking meth and think the fucking FBI has your fucking phone hacked and your fucking apartment wired, fucking dumbass. Okay, so he just repeats himself here, says about meth and the FBI and and that I think that my apartment is wired. I don't even remember ever saying any of that, to be honest. So where are you getting this information from, Jimmy? Where are you getting this information that makes you think that I'm under the impression that my apartment was bugged by the FBI? I try not to make assumptions because I have made assumptions in the past and I've made myself look like an idiot doing it, you know? And it happens. It happens very easily when somebody jumps to conclusions and makes assumptions. You know, you're not doing anybody any favors. I try to say less until I know more. But this is my channel, and this is my vlog where I get to voice my opinions and say what I think whenever I want, about whatever I want, and nobody, especially Jimmy Grabowski, is going to intimidate me or stop me from speaking the truth. The truth. And I dare anybody to please challenge anything I say and call me a liar. Please. I would love to debate somebody who is trying to say that I'm lying about anything I say. Everything I fucking say is 100% the truth from my perspective. Things sometimes aren't as easy as black and white and true or false. Okay? But I am completely truthful and honest in my opinions and my assessment of my situations and what I'm talking about here. And you see how I try to think before the words come out of my mouth so that I'm not just, using fucking fucking fuckity fuck shit fuck meth retarded fuck shit fuck like some people. That's not very becoming. I mean, people like to judge people, and it says a lot about a person on how you talk in your vocabulary, in your filler words that you use. It says, how your mood is. It really says a lot about, you give yourself away when you use those like emotional filler words like that. Can you mix it up a little bit, Jimmy? Use some different swear words. Come on, man. Fuck is not a very attractive word. It's not. It doesn't do you any good. It's not doing you any favors at all. It might take some of the attention away from your face, but see, I shouldn't have said that because you can't control, how pitted your face is. You can't control that. That's just, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say mean things like that. You can only control your personality, But I don't really see, I don't judge people on their looks. I know some very physically attractive people that are the ugliest fucking people I've ever seen in my life. Because I'm like Shallow Hal. I see people for their personalities, and what they do. Not what they say, but what they do. How they act, how they treat people. And how they treat people, both to their face and how they treat people after the fact. Most people are fake. They're fake as fuck. See, that's where you can use words and they have more, they have more oomph, I use that word there because that's how fake they are. They're fake as fuck. Okay? Jimmy Grabowski. So here we go. So refresh my memory. Who told you about my channel? I must not be able to read, I guess, because I don't see any messages where you told me already. You wouldn't be trying to deflect the question now, would you, Jimmy? It's just a simple, harmless question. So at this point, Jimmy's getting pretty angry because this is making him look pretty bad. He says at 3:04 in the morning, "Shut the fuck up and quit messaging me, you stupid fuck. I already told you how many times. I can't help it if you a fucking burnout fucking meth head that can't fucking read and understand what the fuck someone has told them. Hashtag get a fucking job like the rest of us." And at this point, like, I'm genuinely laughing because I think that's great. And that's why I stole this one from Jimmy, the LMFAO, because that's something he uses all the time. Um, I don't know, maybe he's the one that wrote this note and put it under my windshield wiper. This was back on October 12th, the day I had my court hearing and my car broke down. Somebody slipped this note under my windshield wiper that says, "Gang stalked, ... laugh my fucking ass off. No one gang stalking you, laugh my fucking ass off. Now put this on YouTube, quote, retard, since you like using that name so much." And it's written on a little ripped off section of a receipt that they must have pulled out of their car. So there's a couple possibilities. Either they did it while I was in my court hearing, right on the main drag in Evansburg, like catty corner from the courthouse, where my headlights were on when I came out, my battery was dead. Or they put it under my windshield wiper when my car was broke down sitting at Baker's Crossroads for a couple hours. I didn't notice it till later, but it was on my vehicle when I returned home. And the only other place I stopped was my dad's driveway. So I guess it's possible somebody slipped it in there at my dad's driveway. I highly doubt it. But anyway, I can't help but think that this little note I'm holding in my hand right now, it has that LMFAO a couple times on here. And the mood, the mood in the message has some similarities here to Mr. Jimmy Grabowski. So I don't know who wrote it, but when they say no one's gang stalking me, I mean, you can't fix stupid. I get that. But when they like purposely do really stupid things, do they know how stupid they look? Because that note itself is gang stalking. Okay? I mean, what's your definition of gang stalking? You're just one of the people that do this. It's not like this one person who put this note under my car is the only person that does this shit to me. It's a bunch of people. That's what makes it gang stalking. Anyway, I digress. So, that's why I had to make this video, because I had to release this energy, because it's stuff gets to you, it gets under your skin, and it'll sit there and just fester and fester. You have to have a release. This is my therapy. My YouTube channel is like my therapy. So, thank you, YouTube. Thank you, subscribers. And thank you, Jimmy Grabowski, for being the outlet here. I appreciate it. I really do. So, to his little message here, to get a fucking job like the rest of us, I had to laugh because he really doesn't know me at all, I guess. So I said, because I want to be just like the rest of you, laugh my fucking ass off, because I was laughing my fucking ass off. I only wish I was as good of a person as you are, Jimmy. Where did you learn how to be so witty and talk like that with all the F-bombs that you like to incorporate in your vocabulary? I want to be able to talk just like you too someday. Once I get a job like you, that is, and raise my intelligence enough to be able to hold a conversation with someone of your stature. So, and obviously I'm you being a fucking sarcastic fucking smartass, but that's who I am. It's what I do. It's effective, okay? It pisses people off, but it's the truth. And when I say the truth and it pisses people off, I know that it's being effective, right? It's forcing them to feel something, to maybe think, get them gears moving a little bit, And instead of being just a fucking distracted zombie and a cog in the wheel and part of the big fucking beast system, maybe they'll think a little bit and they'll think about a different perspective. And maybe they won't act like that in the future. So my intentions when I do this are good. I have good intentions. I'm doing it to help myself, to release this energy, to make some people laugh maybe along the way, but mainly to inform people and to educate people and help other people see things from other perspectives. Because everything is perspectives, everything. And when you can have that ability to see everything from multiple perspectives, you become a lot more effective, you become a lot wiser, more humble, patient. Things don't bother you as much, you know, you see things for what they really are. You know, when you allow your ego, when you allow yourself to put your ego in its fucking place, you know, kick it to the fucking curb just long enough, you know, to see things from other people's perspectives. Try to feel what they're feeling, you know, to understand that. And then you can then understand that when you do that, when you put yourself in that spot. And I suggest you try it. If you haven't, if you don't practice this, it's kind of like self-reflection, but it's not self. It's reflection of you know, situations from other perspectives. You can self-reflect over and over again on a situation from several different perspectives, and eventually the whole picture starts to manifest itself very clearly. Everything that's happened to me bad in my life might have pissed me off at the time. I might have ranted about it quite a bit, and you know, felt like I was being wrong somehow, which maybe I was. But everything, especially the bad things that have happened to me in my life, I can honestly say happened for good reasons, the best reasons. Because I'm right now in the best version of myself that I ever have been. And I just look forward to becoming an even better version of myself tomorrow. And so on and so on and so on. And if you don't do that, then I feel bad for you. What are you doing? You're wasting your time here. Like, what are you even doing here? What's your purpose? My purpose is to help people, is to be part of the solution. Just so we're clear on that, okay? Before anybody wants to get all butthurt about what I say. So, so I said, but until then, I guess your lack of an answer will be the only thing I have to go off of to form my opinion. And that's the truth, Jimmy. You're not giving me anything to go off of. I'm giving you an opportunity to help yourself here, to paint your own picture, buddy. I'm not trying to take anything out of context or make you look bad. Like I said before, you do a very good job of that yourself. So thank you for making it so easy for me to prove my point. Thumbs up. I would have left it at that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to trigger him. I'm actually genuinely appreciative of him making it so easy for me to prove my point. Because that's like, you know, an easy day at work. You know, you take the good with the bad, but, you know, you get your good, you get your bad. Oh, and I do have to address the whole getting a fucking job and work thing there, Jimmy. Jimmy, I work every fucking day. I am doing something productive for somebody else that has you can put a monetary value on it if you want. Because I don't have a 9 to 5 and I'm not a fucking zombie robot that just spins around in a circle in the same endless fucking pathetic, desperate loop, not ever going anywhere. That doesn't make me some kind of like piece of shit there, buddy. Not in my eyes anyway. You might think so. But I don't know how I'm being a negative effect or a drain on you. You know, even indirectly, because I get food stamps. Pretty sure you get their benefits there, Jimmy. I mean, you do live in public housing. It's subsidized housing. Okay? So I'm going to leave it at that, I'm not saying you probably do work hard. You probably have a job. You probably have find any way you can to try to manipulate things so that you can get as much money as you can, because that's makes fucking sense. Everybody does. It's a fucking game. It's a hustle. You have to try to, make as much money as you can to survive. Don't knock anybody for doing that. Shit. If if there's fucking money to be had, and I can do something about something, why wouldn't I do it? That's fucking stupid not to. People that get all mad because people, get welfare, or whatever. I'm sorry. You can do it too. You don't have to even be mad at me, because there's a big gap there. Either I'm making $30 an hour, or else, um, I need to be at a job making $9 an hour, because the in between I make less. Do you understand, or do I have to explain that to you? There's a huge gap there. It's between the poverty and the middle class. Like, if I don't get the benefits because I make too much money, then I'm making less money, and I'm giving away more of my time to make less money. That is like insane. That is crazy. And that is just fucking retarded. Anybody that does that, you have to try to, strategically plan your time. Your time is something that is a commodity. They're not making any more of it. You only have limited time on this earth. Try to use your time on this earth to be the most effective part of the solution that you can. And I hate to say it, Jimmy, but working a 9 to 5 like you do, what are you working towards? Because the way I see it, you're just wasting your fucking life. I mean, if you're working towards a goal, great. That's awesome. I mean, you got to survive, right? But I'm not going to go get a fucking job for you, motherfucker. There, and I will use that word there because I'm passionate about it. I will not go get a fucking job to please Jimmy fucking Grabowski. Okay, let's make that clear. Or anybody else for that matter. I do it for the greater good, but I can be more effective and a much more productive member of society speaking out, helping people, okay, to try to change this culture around a little bit. To try to change the status quo, because right now this fucking country's in a dark place. Well, it appears to be. But when you see all the whole big picture, you realize that a lot of it is just a big fucking distraction, while these rich, corrupt motherfuckers are just doing their fucking money grab. It's a big money grab going on right now, and if you can't see it, open your fucking eyes. They're doing everything they can to distract us, make us happy, content, distract us, have us, fight amongst each other, divide and conquer. While they strategically had this all fucking planned out, they just get to sit back and they're grabbing so much fucking money you wouldn't believe it. I mean, your fucking head would blow if you realized how much money they are grabbing, and they're doing it not in the open. They're doing it in the shadows. They're doing it behind your back. They don't want you to know. And doesn't that worry you? What do they need all that money for when they're already the richest fucking people in the world? Does that not... Don't you have enough time in your day with your 9 to 5 to sit and think about some of those things? Because it really seems to me like something's coming. If you're still shaking your head saying, oh, I'm a conspiracy theorist, or I'm crazy, right? I don't know if there's any near enough time for you to be able to see, to wake up. I don't know. I mean, we're past the bingo. You know what I mean? We're past the point of no return here. You gotta, if you're not awake yet, to what's really going on around you in the world today, you got some catching up to do. You need to quit your fucking job so you have enough time to do the research and look into what's going on right now, because you might have to reevaluate your life and what you're doing before you waste any more time. I'm not telling everybody to go quit their job. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy and try not to be part of the problem. You don't have to actively try to be part of the solution, but try not to be part of the problem. Okay? If you're doing something, taking time out of your day to do something, and you can look at what you're doing and ask yourself, is this helping society? Is this helping our world? What I'm doing right now, is it helping me in my life? First of all and foremost, is it helping me, my life, and my family, my situation? Because that's who you need to worship, is yourself first, before anything else. Only then can you help other people. But if you ask yourself that question, that really simple question, and you can't right away fucking answer it with a snap of fingers and say, absolutely, this is helping solve, some of the world's problems. If you can't answer that, then when in doubt, throw it out. It's probably because you're just in denial, and the true answer is no, you're part of the problem, okay? I ask myself that all the time with everything I do. Is this going to help somebody? Even if it's going to hinder me, will it help somebody else? And I weigh the pros and cons, okay? God gave us that fucking thing in between your ears for a reason. We're supposed to use it, and we've got to exercise it. Just like our rights, it's a muscle. If you don't exercise it, you're going to lose it. And if we don't exercise our rights, we're going to lose them. If we don't exercise our intellect and do a little bit of philosophical, daydreaming every once in a while, and be aware of what's going on around us and be part of the community, if you don't do that, you just go into like a standby mode, man, and then it won't work. One day you'll wake up and you'll try to use your brain and it just doesn't work anymore. Why do you think all these people are getting Alzheimer's and shit? Because they didn't use their brain enough, and it checks out before their body does. And then it's a very sad scenario when somebody starts losing their mind. It's not a joking matter. I hear a lot of the stories. Is my mother, God bless her heart, is a true good person, and it really gets to her, the people that she tries to help, towards the end of their lives, she tries to help families and taking care of their loved ones, and I couldn't do what she does, man. It would tear me up. It's like losing a family member, if she has somebody she's helping out that passes away. But the struggle every day of trying to make somebody's last days happy and something that they can remember, when they leave this world, that's a task. It's more important than people realize. So going backwards, if we can try to help people exercise their brain and get a little bit smarter. You can do it while you work, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. If we can do that for everybody, I think the world will very, very quickly change and become a better place. We're the problem. We are the problem. We just need to look back and take a look in the mirror and realize that it's our culture that is the problem. It's going the wrong direction. But we can turn it around. And I'm not alone in this, in this this outlook. I'm pretty sure I'm with the majority as far as that goes. But that's just an assumption. I don't know. So I digress. Anyway, let's continue here. Okay, so then 10:03 a.m. Because I said this other one here, it was like 4:30 in the morning. I got up, I seen his message, so I messaged him that, and then 10:03 a.m. Jimmy Grabowski, Maybe he's at work. I don't know. 10:03 a.m. He says, "Second motherfucking time I'm telling you, quit fucking messaging me!" Exclamation point times 5 there. Keep my fucking name out of your fucking cocksucker. Now put that on YouTube. See, I had to raise my voice there, yeah, because he went out of his way to capitalize that. But since that's quotations, the only fucking thing you do all day, quote. and hold on, I gotta stop there, Jimmy. If that's all I fucking did all day, I think I'd have more than like one or two videos a day at the most. You know, sometimes I'll post 3 or 4 videos because I made them prior, or I have several thoughts, and I'll take, maybe an hour out of my day, make a video, put it on YouTube. You see all the fucking time and effort I go through editing, don't you? I can give two fucking shits about it. This is my blog, buddy. So I'm taking this time. You should feel special. I'm taking this time out of my day for you, Jimmy. Mainly for you. It's helping me get it off my chest and everything. But I obviously have to make a few things clear. I had to address the elephant in the room. I had to address that the whole food stamp card thing with Wanda. That's been eating at me for a while, and it came up in conversation last night with my kids, and it it stuck in my head there. I had to release it somehow. So yeah, the whole thing with Wanda saying that, I don't know why. Wanda, when you see this video, I'm confident that you will. Um, don't get angry. Please come talk to me, to my face, like a normal person. And if there's an explanation, I'd love to hear it. If not, come to my face and tell me why you did it. Tell me how you really feel. Don't be fucking fake to my face and sit there and talk to me like you're my friend and point out all these fucking same cars that keep driving around the block while I'm trying to ignore them, right? And then turn around and go tell my daughter that I'm losing it, that I'm crazy, when you're the fucking one that's pointing the shit out, like you're trying to relate to me or something. And that happened too. I sat there and talked to you on Main Street, and this fucking whatever Mercedes Benz white utility van thing kept driving around the block over and over again, and these people kept staring at me, and I was trying to ignore them, Wanda. And you started looking at them like what the hell? What are these people doing? Why do these people keep driving around the block? And I said, I don't know. It's my fan club. That's what they do. They said they look at all the out of state plates, and I pointed them out real quick. And I said, I don't care. I try to ignore them. But it's fucking weird what they do. All these people, there's a whole bunch of out of state people that showed up in this area. I'm sure a lot of them are from Rock Run and going to Glendale and everything else. But there's something else. There's more to it. There's something else to it. And it's just my assumption. I'm not going crazy. I'm just fucking awake and observant, and I see things. So when Wanda, you see something, because I was confident that it was a bunch of gang stalkers or whatever it is, whatever they are, a bunch of fucking out of town people that follow me around. We're doing this fucking shit, follow me around, doing their data grab, whatever the fuck they're doing, and it seemed out of the order. And call me crazy when you pointed it out. It's just another thing that contributes to my theory that Wanda's involved in the gang stalking. I just don't. I just want to know why. Decided to do this or what? Because I'm not. So you're not going to find anybody, you're not going to be able to document somebody. Hey, haha, they're coming to take me away. Hee hee, to the funny farm. I'll give it to you, nerd girl. You got jokes. You're funny. You're witty, and that's why you're probably decent at what you do. But everybody that there's other people that are just as smart and witty as you, and sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. All right, Mr. Anderson, Nerve Gorilla, Mr. Anderson, I believe is your real name. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's what I was told. I thought. And decided to um, charge me with driving under suspension, even though he he's after. No, what I was doing in my eyes was not wrong at all. Certainly not criminal, like I'm some fucking kind of criminal or something. But anyway, that was 3 days after my ARD. I've noticed that I was sober because I passed the field sobriety test and the breathalyzer and was changed his mind. Medication. Because he took my pills with my name on it. It was my bottle. Those were my pills, and he kept them. And whenever I tried to get him back off of them, he, you better turn around and walk away right now. And I was asking him for the toxicology report because he told me that he was going to call me and we could have a talk like two men, man to man. And if I with anything at the time, I figured, great, go to jail for. That's the leverage he had on me. So I'm playing ball, you know. I'm trying to get tricked me into going for. I said, let's go. Fucking right. Yes, let's go. So we went. He did give me a vacation, and he lied and said that I made up a to a police officer, and he wrote her a nice little another year suspension. I didn't want to go to jail for driving under suspension. I had done that already years prior, and I didn't never seen the toxicology, like I said. So I had just got in January 2018. You know, it was 8 months after the incident. 8 months after Travis Schilling said he wouldn't fuck with me going to work. So I drove to work for 8 months. You know, he never pulled me over on my way to work for those 8 months. But isn't it convenient that 3 days after my ARD hearing, and I'm placed on intermediate punishment for ARD, I got a year probation, a fine to pay off, and I can get that behind me, you know? And some DUI classes and shit, and had to pay $7,000 to the county for that. And I got a driving under suspension and another year's suspension on my license anyway. But that was just $100 fine. So they didn't think that was a big deal, you know. That whenever I had a vehicle accident at 2 in the morning, that driving under suspension, no, not a big deal. But when I'm going to work, 3 days after I finally get placed on ARD, that's when he decides to pull me over. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And, he's such a nice cop that he even let me go and drive to work that day. He still let me go drive to work that day. Isn't that something? But still sent me charges in the mail. Now, I don't know if he's part of it, and I see it from both ways. Like, maybe he's a good guy and he's trying like hell to cut me every break he can without being corrupt and making it look bad, and I just am too dumb to get the clues. I don't know. I kind of think it's possible that he's being torn both, pushed from both sides of it as well. Because he definitely could have fucked me over a lot worse over the years. And I respect that it's his town. He lives in this town. He has kids in this town. And I know that he's a good person to some people. I know that. It's not. I try not to make it personal. I'm trying like hell to make it not very personal. But the truth is still the truth. The truth will never change. I can't change the truth. You can't change the truth. You can try, but guess what? The truth always wins. It can stand by itself against everything. It can stand up against an entire town of fucking fake liars. And it don't matter if the fake liars are able to win a little battle here and a battle there. In the end, guess what? The truth wins. The truth can stand by itself against everything else and still be victorious. The truth always comes out. The truth will always win. So if you're lying to yourself or you're making stuff up, I suggest you look further down the road at consequences. Before you try to be fake and before you try to bend the truth or make the truth up. Before you do that, just think, it might be harder right now to face the truth or tell the truth. It might be fucking really hard. It might be scary as hell. I promise you, it's the best fucking policy. Honesty is the best policy. If everybody had integrity, imagine how many of the world's problems would just fucking disappear. We would all get along. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have to worry about what people think of you because they'd just tell you. And the truth would be the truth. That's it. Could you imagine that? We wouldn't need lawyers. We wouldn't need laws that make it illegal to lie to a cop or give a cop a false police report. We wouldn't need a law against that because the truth would be the truth. Right? But unfortunately, people are lying ass grimy motherfuckers. And I hate to say it, but there's way more fucking lying ass grimy motherfuckers than there are people with true integrity and a conscience. And people that aren't afraid to take some accountability, right? And tell the fucking truth. Especially when they don't have to, okay? When you can tell the truth and you don't have to, and it's just you and God, and you decide to tell the truth, you'll realize, you'll see the feeling and the power that has. And you'll instantly be able to level up. I mean, you'll level up and you'll become a better person instantly when you do that. And eventually it becomes so easy that I can't imagine fucking lying. Like, I really can't imagine lying about something. I would, like, of course I lied when I was younger and when I was a kid. And there's white lies that you tell, but they're for good intentions. They're for the right reasons. But when you stick to the policy of honesty is the best policy, and you do it so much, and that's like kind of like your platform, your whole fucking campaign, everything that you're talking about is based on truth, transparency, integrity. It's like a drug. It really is. You get empowered. I'm addicted to truth. Seriously, I swear. If there's something I don't know and you're getting two sides of a story, like all the fucking disinformation that we're getting right now and the propaganda, it drives me nuts. Like, it does consume me. Like, I dig and dig until I can deduce my own, my own picture of a situation based on all the perspectives, then you can see the fucking truth. It's just different perspectives. You can put it all together. Anyway, this turned into a like the road less traveled by here. We were heading a certain way and we got off on a tangent here. But it's good. I felt the need to make this video, and that's usually when my best it's like the information's coming from somewhere else and I'm just a conduit. It's just flowing through me. It makes sense. I know that the people that are going to watch this, you can't argue with what I'm saying. I mean, you can, but you're just lying to yourself if you do. I mean, come on. This is all very, very simple ideologies, very simple, straightforward, common sense. Well, we'll call it uncommon sense. Theories and philosophies here that everybody should live by. So I'm not saying nothing that's any fucking breaking news to anybody, or that's some profound fucking epiphany, like the cure to cancer or some shit. You know what I mean? I'm just telling it how it is. I'm telling people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. So, Jimmy says, bye-bye, you fucking low-life piece of shit. I don't know why I'm a low-life piece of shit in Jimmy's eyes. It doesn't bother me at all. It just, if anything, it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like really sad and bad for Jimmy. And I'm not saying that to make him mad or nothing. I really do feel bad for him that for some reason in his eyes I'm a low-life piece of shit. And all I do is try to help people. That's it. I try. Everybody's selfish sometimes. But if I'm given an opportunity and I could be selfish or I could be selfless, I choose selfless every time. And that's selfish in itself because like a narcissist gets off on that. They like that feeling they get when they go out of their way to help somebody else because it makes them feel good. So yeah, damn right, they do it for themselves. That's not a bad thing. I hate to say it, but there's a different kind of narcissist. Okay? So anybody who's on this whole narcissism kick and fucking narc survivor and narcissism this and narcissism that, it's not black and white. I hate to tell you. It's a very, very hard distinction between, it's like mushrooms. Wild mushrooms, there's some that look identical to each other. One's fucking deadly poisonous and the other one's perfectly good to eat, So, be careful. When you call someone a narcissist, you don't know. You're not in their head. You don't know what they're thinking. It's about intent. And are you helping people or are you hurting people? Somebody can be a narcissist and do fucking wonders for people. And if all they're doing is good and spreading positivity, love, knowledge, assisting people, then if you want to call them, if they're a narcissist because of all that, just because their intentions is to do it because it makes them feel good, and that's it. They only do it to make themselves feel better. Okay, why is that so bad? I think maybe all of us should be like that. Wouldn't the world be a better place if that was the case? And then you got your sociopaths and your narcissists that no matter what cannot see a situation from another point of view or another perspective. That is what really, people are talking about when they say narcissist and narcissism. These are people that gaslighting is their fucking second language, it's what they do. And they don't even realize they're doing it to people. Because they can't see any other perspectives except their own tiny little bubble that they live in. And this little bubble lives in this little fucking tunnel. So it has a limited viewpoint too. like the opposite of a fisheye lens. Okay, so I didn't even really know what a narcissist was until all that happened in 2018, and I was going to work from jail. And one day I go into work, and the boss calls me into the office and said somebody made a report that I was doing pills at my desk. I laughed at her. Like, I literally laughed at her. I said, what are you talking about? My desk is right outside the office door. It's a big glass door where where the fucking manager can see me and just me all day. Like, I had my own aisle where it was just me, and I could look over and see the manager. All the other employees sat on the outsides of these workstations where the boss would have to stick her head out the door to actually see them working. So, hey, maybe that was a coincidence, or maybe there was something going on there. I don't know. But anyway, I got called in, was told that there was somebody made a report I was doing pills at my desk. To put it into context, this office, we had maybe like, I don't know, 8 to 12 employees. Usually it was maybe an average of 10 people there. And me and a couple other people were senior reps, and then you had your manager and your assistant manager. So literally, the majority of the staff were management, and then we had some trainees. So that's it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like most families are bigger than this office. So when she tells me that somebody made a report that I was doing pills at my desk, I said, "What are you talking about? You know, we all work together. Who the fuck are?" I was like, "What do you mean somebody made a report?" And 2 days earlier, Lynette Luther was nodding off at her desk, and me and the manager fucking sat there shaking our heads, looking at each other while she did it right in front of us. You know what I mean? When you look at these little things, and it's like, what the fuck is really going on here? You know? And why? Now, at the time, this was my first introduction to any of this, okay? I just was happy to be alive and go to work every day. Even at that point right then, I was number one that day, performing. I had more sales than anybody that day. I had not drank alcohol because I was going to jail every day, okay? I used to drink a beer at lunch every once in a while. I'd go get a burger and a beer at TK Subs and Six Packs. You know, I don't get drunk. I didn't get drunk at work, but that was just something I enjoyed, like my little reward. So at lunch, I would take an hour. I'd go down, I'd get a 24-ounce beer and a burger, and sometimes I'd gamble a little bit on the machine at TK's. Sometimes I got carried away, and I decided to take 2 hours for lunch. But I always got my hours. That was the deal. You could make your own hours, you know. But anyway, when I was in jail, I didn't drink. Because if they were to test you, like drug test you, alcohol stays in your system, I guess, for like 80 hours. It's like 3 days or something like that. And I would have lost my work release. It wasn't worth it. That was a no-brainer. Why would I fucking risk that? I had 2 months to do. You know, all I had to do was same thing I did every other day, just don't drink. You know what I mean? That's it. Now, I have prescriptions for medication that, hell, I had just actually filled a prescription not even a week before that. Okay? And I was going to work in jail every day. And this was 4 weeks into it, so I had 4 weeks to go. And when she called me and said about the pill thing, I kind of shrugged it off and went back to work. And everybody's like, "Oh, what was that about?" You know, of course they're going to ask you. There's a whole 10 people in the office. And I had never been written up or called in the office like that. So everybody's wondering what the hell's going on. And I made it a joke. I said, "Okay, everybody, I can't give anybody Motrin anymore," because I had a big bottle of Motrin at my desk. And anybody who wanted a Motrin, if they had a headache, they came over and they just grabbed them. Yeah, it's one of them great big fucking bottles that have like 1,000 Motrin. So I made a joke about it. I said, "Well, I don't know. Apparently, I'm doing pills at my desk. This is the only thing I can think of is this bottle of Motrin. So I'm not allowed to give anybody any more Motrin." And I laughed about it, and so did everybody else. And that was the end of it. But at lunchtime, I vented. I called my girlfriend at the time, and was venting to her on the phone by myself outside And well, the district manager just happened to be standing around the corner, just in earshot. So she heard me ranting about it. So what? It was the truth. I was mad. I was like, it's fucked up. I was trying to understand what happened. Like, why somebody would do that, would make up a lie and say I was doing pills at my desk. If I wanted to do pills, I'd do them in the bathroom or in my car. Why the fuck would I do them at my desk? It doesn't make any sense. And plus, it was, if I had any pills, they were my prescriptions. And I'm supposed to take them. But I actually didn't take my prescriptions while I was at work because I'm not even going to say what it is, but it's no secret that this particular prescription, it's probably not the best thing to take while you're driving or while you're, trying to do something awake, period. So I didn't do my medication at work anyway. I never did. But anyway, after lunch, they called me back in. And when they called me back into the office, they had this printed out write-up. It was already printed out. And it said that I was falling asleep at my desk. Okay, now I'm falling asleep at my desk, it said. And because of that and my attitude after our first, I don't know what you want to call it, my first, where they basically, in the words of Dillhole, I got my pee-pee smacked. That's what Dill said happened when he tried to do his job. He said, about Travis Schilling. He said, oh, well, I tried to do my job right and I get my pee-pee smacked. And that's on one of my videos too. It's funny. But anyway, yeah, they said because of my attitude after our first interaction when they got my pee-pee smacked, and further reports from other employees that I'm falling asleep at my desk, they made a decision to suspend me for 4 weeks without pay. It just so happened I had 4 more weeks to go until I got out of jail, right, on work release. So time goes a lot slower when you're in jail and you're not going to work every day. So jail at that time was just basically going there to eat and sleep. It was not hard. The only person that was getting punished because of the whole thing was my gas bill, because I used my car and lent it to the person who I got a job there, the person who I got an apartment at the Terrace Apartments, the person who I gave a ride every fucking day to work, the person who I lent my car to when they had a baby, and the same people, I'm the only one that helped them move into their apartment. I can't think of a single thing I ever did to this person and her boyfriend that could even possibly be construed as negative towards them. I did the opposite, but I was the only one to fucking help them repeatedly, over and over and over and over and over again. I helped them. And Carrie Stiles, I helped her get her license back because she needed a license to be able to be the one that picked me up from work or from jail every day. So got her license reinstated for her. She just never got around to doing it. I helped her do that. She paid for it. But anyway, she would give me a ride to jail and work every day with my car. Okay, so it was taking a little bit extra time out of her day to do that. So I appreciated that sacrifice that she was making. But she got a ride to work. That's how she got to work. I had given her a ride for 1.5 years every day. I helped carry her kids into the babysitter and carry them back out every day when we dropped her kids off and picked them up. So not only was it her ride to work, I was her ride for her kids to the babysitters. I was also her fucking carrying service. I carried her fucking kids in the car seat up the steps for her while she was pregnant. Like, I did so much for these people, and because Carrie was a good person. She really was. She went out of her way and worked when she had a very legitimate reason to be on, like, SSI. She said no. She'd rather work than be on SSI. And I admired that. And she was, everybody makes mistakes, but I thought we were fucking friends, like seriously friends. Well, apparently, Carrie Stiles was the one who made this report. that I was falling asleep at my desk and I was doing pills at work. So imagine all this now, and you find out that is the person that did this. It's just like I would shake my head like, what the fuck is going on? And then Carrie calls me a narcissist. So I'm like, what the hell? And she lived right underneath my ex-girlfriend. Okay, when I said I vented to my girlfriend on the phone, the truth is I broke up with her before I went to jail. She didn't want to accept that. So she just decided that no, we were still together. And she brought me sandwiches every day at lunch while I was at work. She treated me like a king. She really did. And it's hard to handle that whenever you're trying to tell somebody you just want to be friends with them because you don't have time for a relationship. I was trying to be a dad, and it's hard when my ex, the baby mama, is causing uncomfortable tensions, right, between her and her fiance and me. Our views didn't match up, okay, on certain things, and I wanted to have a sit down and talk, all three of us. That wasn't happening in her eyes, so she stopped seeing the kids. She just stopped fucking picking them up. Told everybody that I wouldn't let her see the kids, that I was keeping the kids from her. That's a fucking lie. She just decided, she didn't have any kids anymore. Said, fuck it. This is when she was $13,000 in the rears and child support. And right before I did her taxes for her and figured, you know what? I'll claim the kids on your taxes and do your taxes for you. That way, I'll still get the money for the taxes for the kids, but you'll get all this money paid off in your child support. Look at that win-win, right? Well, it's a win-win. See, I didn't even look at the fact that that's money that I wouldn't get then. That's basically taking money out of my pocket that's owed to me. So that was, it's $13,000. If I get that $13,000, from doing taxes or whatever, and she gets her debt paid off, I didn't even see it as I was paying my own debt. I didn't see it as that. I just saw it as, okay, I still get my income tax, and my ex-wife don't have to worry about this huge fucking debt hanging over her head. And anything that helps my ex-wife helps my kids. So therefore, I'm going to do what's in my kids' best interest. And people just find that, like, they call bullshit. They find it so hard to believe that I can be, like, that easygoing and get along with my ex-wife of 10 plus years who fucking cheated on me and kicked me to the curb and worked with the fucking Pam Neff to get me thrown in jail and everything else because she wanted to leave me whenever I decided I wanted to quit doing drugs back in 2012. Anyway, this is 2018 and I'm at work and this they wanted to suspend me for 4 weeks, conveniently lined up with my jail thing there, right? I said, and they wanted me to sign this paper. I said, I'm not signing that. That says that I was falling asleep at work, and that's a lie. I can't sign that. That's admitting guilt. Why would I sign that? And they couldn't make it make any sense. They couldn't explain to me why I should sign that. Like, I'm like, no, you're going to suspend me either way here. Like, I'm leaving this office. I'm not going back to work today. So why would I sign that piece of paper? It's a fucking lie. They went out of their way to type it up and to orchestrate this situation. I'm still trying to figure out why. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. It made no sense at all, right? So I said, no, I'm not signing that. So what happens now? They said, well, then you're fired. And the only way you can come back to work is after this 4 weeks is up. If the manager decides to rehire you, it'll be up to her. I said, okay. It'll be up to me as well. I really don't think that I'm going to want to seek employment here after after the 4 weeks is up without an explanation of what the hell's going on here, And so I said, okay, whatever. I walked outside and I didn't even get my stuff from my desk. And whenever I went to go back in to get my stuff from my desk, they didn't want me in the building at all. Okay? Instead of letting me back in the building, Carrie comes out, already has all my stuff packed up, and already says, Yeah, I'm just going to give you a ride now. That they already know, they're cool with it. I'm leaving early. She had to have talked to them ahead of time. So they worked this out before this very awkward incident happened where I was escorted out of the building and fired. Carrie already knew the plan, already was leaving early, already had my paperwork. So they worked this all up ahead of time. Whatever. Could have been 5 minutes before, could have been days before. The fact is, though, that they had a conversation about it beforehand. That happened. Again, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, what the fuck just happened on my way back to jail. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. I wasn't going back to work. Was I going to get kicked off work release? I don't know. Like, what's going on here? So we went from my work, and we had to go back to Patton, where Carrie lived, because her kids and everything, on the way back to jail. Okay, now I had scheduled off to the end of the day anyway, so it's not like I was going to get in trouble for taking extra time or anything. But we get back, and Carrie asks me on the way back if she can borrow my car while I'm in jail for the next month to get back to work. I said, Carrie, what are you going to do after that? Because I'm not coming back to work here. You know, you're going to have to find another ride or a new job anyway. You know why? It's in my mom's name. I don't see the point in taking that unnecessary risk of driving, you know, my car that's in my mother's insurance when there's nobody else. It's just you know. And when you know that you're not going to work there after a month anyway, because they were trying to fire her for a long time. They left her stay there. Her performance was at the bottom, and they have to let people go based on performance after so long. It's a sales job. That's how it works. But they bent the rules for her because she rode to work with me every day. You know what I mean? I guess I don't know why else they kept her. They fired lots of people that were had better performance than her, you know, for a shorter period of time or whatever. Like, she had a very, very long record of not performing consecutively. So, like, they should have got rid of her several times over. And once, like, later on, after I was gone out of the picture, they did. They fired her. I don't know how long she stayed there exactly, but she wanted to borrow my car for the next month. I knew that it was nothing to do with work. She wanted to borrow my car so they could run around and get drugs and sell them. They did heroin. And I know they had asked to use my car several times to drive to Pittsburgh and Johnstown. I said, no, it's in my mom's name. It's no, I can't take that risk. It's not even my question to ask. You'd have to ask my mom, you know. I'm not putting her name at jeopardy, letting you borrow my car when God knows what you're doing. There's a chance that you're doing something illegal. No, you know. So it never happened. But now here I am going back to jail. She knows it, and she's going to borrow my car for the next month. I told her I said it's not up to me, Carrie. I said you can ask my mom. I said if it's up to her. To be honest, it's her insurance. You know, if I'm not in the car, she told me she didn't even want anybody driving that car unless I was in it. So I don't think she's going to tell you, yeah. So I called my mom, tell her what's up real quick. And my mom said, yeah, I guess she can borrow it as long as she gives me the $50 for the insurance for this month. If she gives me that, and yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I'm like, Mom, really? You're supposed to fucking say no. So there, I let her borrow my car for a month. Even after this bitch does this to me. And I left my prescription medication in the glove box, okay? And I locked it, okay, with my key. And I told Carrie, you're responsible if this goes missing. I said, I'm locking it. This is this is the key, the only key to unlock this. I said, because there's a valet key too. It doesn't unlock the glove box. So there was a single key. I said, there's no reason any of these should need to be missing. Carrie just so happened to get the same prescription I did, and so did her boyfriend, Mark Bowman. So I didn't think that they would steal my medication because they got twice as much of the same medication themselves. and they would get these and then sell them and shit. But I guess I don't know. I didn't. I just took mine, like I'm supposed to. So I left my medication in the glove box, and I go back to the jail. And the next morning, they woke me up to go to work. I said, I'm not going to work anymore. I quit. And then they called me down to intake in the jail because Tony Mognick came down. She runs the work release, so she has to come down and address the issue because somebody called the jail and told them I was falling asleep at work. So they went even further. Not only did they fire me and everything, they called the jail to tell them, just to kindly let them know that I was falling asleep at work. Why? What do they need to tell the jail that for? What the fuck? Like the next day. So Tony Mognick comes down. I'm already done with work release, right? Tony Mognick comes down, says, drippy drip, you gonna piss in this cup here. Is there gonna be anything in the cup? And I said, yeah, my prescriptions. No alcohol, no, haven't been drinking, just my prescriptions. And she said, okay. And that's what came up, just my prescriptions. And she said, well, I don't know what they're going to do because you're not supposed to do those, those when you're on work release. I said, well, I'm not on work release anymore. I said, yeah, one sec. I said, yeah, one sec. I'm doing a video. So I said, they're in my system. I just got the prescription a week before. So the warden decides that they're just going to throw me in the hole anyway for my last 28 days. So I got fired. Got to go back to jail and got thrown in the hole. System. And they dicked me around, so I spent my last 28 days in solitary confinement in 2018. So yeah, no, I'm not targeted or anything. But that happened. But the story goes back to when Travis Schilling threatened somebody, Jimmy, I gotta do my therapy. I gotta get it out so that I feel better about it and that I don't have anger towards you. So that's about it. So this ended up being a lot longer video than I planned. But if you get anything from it, great. Comment, let me know what you think. Jimmy Grabowski, you're welcome to comment as well. That's why they have the comment section. I don't delete any comments, and I don't block anybody. I like to hear what other people's feedback is on my. Be good at it. Stay real. Don't be a douchebag. And peace out.